Dear students, in this video, let us start with the parturition. What do you mean by parturition? Let us see. Parturition. So we know in human beings, usually the pregnancy period itself is about 9 months, right? Pregnancy period is about 9 months. So it may extend up to another 15 days, plus or minus 15 days or 7 days we consider. In different book, in different way he has mentioned over here. But in NCERT he has mentioned 9 months only, right? So this is the pregnancy period, which is also called as gestation period. Which is also called as gestation period. This gestation period is nothing but, it is the period between the conception to the childbirth or parturition is called as what? Gestation period. This may extend up to 9 months, right? So after the gestation period, what happens over here? After the pregnancy period or the after gestation period, the mild uterine contraction is induced over here, and that leads to the expulsion of the baby or full-term baby from the womb of the mother take place. And this process itself is called as what? So the parturition, right? Let us write the definition for parturition. Definition for parturition. See here, what happens over here is the ejection of full-term baby from the womb of mother, from the womb of the mother is called as parturition. Is called as parturition, right? So what happens here? After pregnancy period, right? What happens? Mild uterine contractions occur. Mild uterine contraction occurs, and these contractions leads to expulsion or ejection of the baby from the womb of the mother, and that process itself is called as what? Parturition, right? So this is one thing we must remember over here. And one more term we must remember in this case, that is a fetal ejection reflex. What do you mean by fetal ejection reflex? So this is nothing but after the pregnancy period there. So what happens over here is the signals for the childbirth or the parturition originated from the full-term baby, fully developed baby, as well as the placenta, which induce the mild uterine contractions called as fetal ejection reflex. This is more important definition. Let us write the definition. So the signals for parturition originated from full-term baby and placenta, which induce mild uterine contractions, which is called as fetal ejection reflex, right? Which is called as fetal ejection reflex. Soon after fetal ejection reflex, there it induces the uterine wall or uterine muscle contraction itself. So it induces the uterine muscle contraction, as a result of which the release of one of the hormones called as oxytocin take place. So here, see here, so what happens as a result of this fetal ejection reflex? Oxytocin is the hormone which is released by the posterior lobe of pituitary. That is posterior lobe of pituitary. So this oxytocin, once again, it induces mild uterine contractions, right? So it induces mild uterine contractions. So along with this one, relaxin is also facilitating the parturition itself. It is also facilitating the parturition. How it is facilitating the parturition, you may ask. See here, this increases the contraction of the, or the relaxation of the pubic symphysis, we can say, right? So relaxin hormone does the same thing. The relaxin hormone, oxytocin hormone, all these hormones induce the mild uterine contractions, and these uterine contractions are called as labor pains. What these are named as? Labor pains. And these labor pains are categorized into three kinds. So what are the types of labor pains? One by one, let us see now, right? The first one is the stage of dilation, and second one is the stage of expulsion, and third one is placental stage. These are the three kinds of labor pains the woman or the mother feels during the parturition. Let us see all those type of labor pains. What happens during the labor pains? Let us see now. First one is the stage of dilation. This is the first type of labor pain, what we call it as, right? So during which the dilation, the complete dilation of what take place, cervical canal or cervix take place, that is called a stage of dilation, first one. And second one is stage of expulsion. By the name we can understand that expulsion of the baby take place. Then what is this stage of expulsion? These are the labor pains which arise, so which continue from the stage of dilation up to the expulsion of the baby from the womb of the mother, or the ejection of the baby from the womb of the mother, so or the delivery of the baby. And those labor pains altogether called as what? Stage of expulsion. And third one is, even after the expulsion of the baby, are there any labor pains? Of course, there will be labor pains. What kind of labor pains? That is placental. Placental stage it is. So during this stage, once again the labor pains occurs over here. So as to expel out the placenta, or else we can say it is called as after birth. The expulsion of after birth take place due to the contraction of the uterine muscles, and those labor pains are together said as placental stage labor pains, right? So this way, in the three stages, labor pains are felt by the mother, right? So these are the three phases or the stages of the labor pains. Soon after this one, the delivery of the baby has taken place, right? So the complete dilation of the uterine muscles and the breakdown of what? The blood vessels in the vagina, as well as what? So the dilation of complete cervix has taken place in the mother, and it is being recovered within 40 to 50 or 50 to 60 days itself, right? So this is how the complete parturition process that occurs over here. This is all about the parturition. Next one is lactation. Thank you.